William Collins and Argo present Emma, written by Jane Austen. Read by Prunella Scales.
Emma Woodhouse, handsome, clever, and rich, with a comfortable home and happy disposition, seemed to unite some of the best blessings of existence, and had lived nearly 21 years in the world with very little to distress or vex her. She was the youngest of the two daughters of a most affectionate, indulgent father, and had, in consequence of her sister's marriage, been mistress of his house from a very early period. Her mother had died long ago, and her place had been supplied by an excellent woman as governess. 16 years had Miss Taylor been in Mr. Woodhouse's family, less as a governess than a friend, very fond of both daughters, but particularly of Emma. Between them it was more the intimacy of sisters, Emma doing just what she liked, highly esteeming Miss Taylor's judgment, but directed chiefly by her own. The real evils, indeed, of Emma's situation were the power of rather having too much her own way, and a disposition to think a little too well of herself. There came a gentle sorrow. Miss Taylor married. It was on the wedding day of this beloved friend that Emma first sat in mournful thought. The wedding over and the bride people gone, her father and herself were left to dine together, with no prospect of a third to cheer a long evening. Her father composed himself to sleep after dinner as usual, and she had then only to sit and think of what she had lost. It was true that her friend was going only half a mile from them, but Emma was aware that great must be the difference between a Mrs. Weston only half a mile from them and a Miss Taylor in the house, and she was now in great danger of suffering from intellectual solitude. She dearly loved her father, but he was no companion for her, for having been a valetudinarian all his life, without activity of mind or body, he was a much older man in ways than in years, and though everywhere beloved for the friendliness of his heart and his amiable temper, his talents could not have recommended him at any time. Emma's sister, Isabella, though comparatively but little removed by matrimony, being settled in London only 16 miles off, was much beyond her daily reach, and many a long October and November evening must be struggled through at Hartfield before Christmas brought the next visit from Isabella and her husband and their little children to fill the house and give her pleasant society again. Highbury, the large and populous village almost amounting to a town, to which Hartfield, in spite of its separate lawn and shrubberies and name, did really belong, afforded Emma no equals. The Woodhouses were first in consequence there. All looked up to them. She had many acquaintance in the place, for her father was universally civil, but not one among them who could be accepted in lieu of Miss Taylor for even half a day. It was a melancholy change, and Emma could not but sigh over it and wish for impossible things, till her father awoke and made it necessary to be cheerful. His spirits required support. He was a nervous man, easily depressed, fond of everybody that he was used to, and hating to part with them, hating change of every kind. Emma spared no exertions to maintain a happier flow of ideas, and hoped by the help of backgammon to get her father tolerably through the evening. The backgammon table was placed, but a visitor immediately afterwards walked in and made it unnecessary. George Knightley, a sensible man about 37 or 8, was not only a very old and intimate friend of the family, but particularly connected with it as the elder brother of Isabella's husband, John Knightley. He lived about a mile from Highbury on his estate at Donwell Abbey, was a frequent visitor, and always welcome. Mr. Knightley had a cheerful manner which always did Mr. Woodhouse good. Inquiries after Isabella and her children being answered satisfactorily, Mr. Woodhouse returned to an earlier theme.
"Ah, poor Miss Taylor, it is a sad business."
"Poor Mr. and Miss Woodhouse, if you please," replied Mr. Knightley. "I mean no reflection on anybody, but Miss Taylor has been used to have 2 persons to please, and she will now have but 1. Every friend of Miss Taylor must be glad to have her so happily married." "And you have forgotten one matter of joy to me," said Emma, "and a very considerable one, that I made the match myself 4 years ago, and to have it
Sample complete. Ready to continue?